guys, welcome to my August TBR. This is what I'm gonna read in the month of August. I've already kind of read one of them, but I think you'll understand why in just a second, and you may already be able to see it right there. So this amazing thing happened. J.K. Rowling was like, you know what? I'm gonna do more Harry Potter. This was the result. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. You have to keep in mind when you're reading it, it's a play, not a book. Most people want it to be a book, and I understand that. I do too, frankly. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is advertised as the 8th Harry Potter store 19 years later. I kind of sat down and read it in 2 sittings because I got sick the first day I was reading it, which was terrible. Don't ever try out new migraine medicines. Just don't do it. And so anyway, I absolutely loved it. I finished it the next morning. I'll tell you more in my wrap up, and I'm going to do a separate review on my blog. So just keep an eye out, but this beauty happened. So in this book, Harry and them have children and they're sending them off to Hogwarts. Well, Albus, that's my pet name for him apparently. No, Albus Severus Potter is not exactly his father. He's great in his own way, as he comes to learn in the play. Let's just say I was initially upset with the fact that Rowling decided to use a trope of, you know, I can't live up to some expectation of me, blah blah blah. However, it became much more than that, so read on. The next book I'm reading, I'm just an absolute nerd about the series, and it is Lord of the Silent by Elizabeth Peters. It is the 13th, I think, in the Amelia Peabody. And this book, you know, once again takes place with Amelia and her family traveling to Egypt, doing their Egyptologist things. Locals messing with their digs. This time as well as last, we've got World War I thrown into the mix there, so that creates a bit more complications. And I just love this series. This is the next book that I've started. Not super far, but you know, I love them. The next book I want to get through that I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to get through is The Two Towers by who else but Tolkien. So this book, you know, is the continuation of Fellowship of the Ring. Everyone knows what it is. I, however, have never read it before because apparently I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But also there's a thing about Tolkien where you have to be in a very particular mood, or I have to be in a very particular mood to read Tolkien. It's kind of like Martin, where everything is just in the story and you have to like detail, and sometimes I just don't want detail. Sometimes I don't want the depressingness that I know this is gonna be either, so just go away and maybe I'll read you and maybe I won't. The next book I'm going to read is Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. What I believe happens in this book, because it's quite complicated and incredibly random, is Colin Winter's story, the, I believe, main character, sort of parallels a story of a missionary in Africa. A lot happens to Colin Winter, like a lot of just not fun things, and his town seems to be a little crazy. Whereas with the missionary, he's searching for meaning wherever he can find it, as the synopsis on the back says. And somehow they relate to each other. You tell me. We'll find out. The next book I want to read is the 4th in the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, A Miserable Mill. I believe this is the last one I really consciously remember reading to from middle school, but I read much further. I don't really know what I got to. However, this one, they're stuck at the Miserable Mill, the Baudelaire orphans. And this is what the synopsis says is included in this one. A giant pincher machine, which I remember that one. A bad casserole, a man with a cloud of smoke where his head should be, a hypnotist, a terrible accident resulting in injury, and most, you know, dangerously, coupons. No, Lemony Snicket, your books are so special, and I love them. Next book I want to read, I've had my eye on for a good year, probably, since it came out, basically, I think, and that is The Illusionist by Jessie Burton. This book takes place in 1686 in Amsterdam. So she gets this basically dollhouse replica of her home, and she employs a miniaturist. So basically she employs someone to come make the little figurines for her house, and what happens, I believe, is this miniaturist has mystery about him, and we don't really know if he's good or bad. Book cover is beautiful, and frankly, you kind of got me on it. And then I opened it, and the inside is pretty too. I just love how they started the chapters, and I don't know. Oh, wait, is that a... Don't look. What am I doing? there's always the temptation. I like how it starts. They include an old map of Amsterdam, which is really interesting. I actually went and visited Amsterdam very briefly a year ago, and so I have a touch of a reference, just a smidgen. I just love how it's written. The funeral is supposed to be a quiet affair, for the deceased had no friends. That's a great first sentence, you guys. I'm loving it already. We have 2 more left. This is ambitious for me. The next one, though, is something that everyone else in the world read in high school, apparently. And that's Animal Farm by George Orwell. I read 1984, loved it except for that 50-page thing in the middle where you just want to keel over. Animal Farm is, I believe, some sort of dystopian thing. I don't know. I don't want to know. It's so short that I feel like if I know, then what's the point? So that's that. And I got this pretty edition from the Strand. I'm really loving it. So the next and last book I want to read this month is Association of Small Bombs by Karen Mahajan. And this book, I believe, talks about, it's nonfiction, and it talks about a bunch of small bombs that go off around the world that we just don't really hear about. And particularly it follows this guy, Mansour Ahmed, who was attacked by a bomb and survived and then becomes an activist. So I'm intrigued. It looks like a pretty book, which, you know, always gets me. So guys, those are the books that I want to read in the month of August. Let's hope I get to them all. I got to them all for the first time last month. I read every book I said I would read in July. I am getting better at this. I don't know what that was. Arrgh, I'm a pirate. Well, on that note, I think I'll go, guys. Cheers.